So here we go. All right, guys. So today's goal, in a creative, amazing piece of wording from our fabulous marketer, Carrie, stand apart from the rest. Make virtual showings and open houses work for you. So as you guys know, so many things have changed over the last little bit with what's going on in our industry and with what we have to deal with right now to get deals coming in. So we want to help you guys be able to keep bringing those deals and keep piling them in, keep sending them to us at Trident and Performance, and keep feeding your families with real estate income. So I put this together. I've been working on this for about 2 weeks to help you guys understand all the different strategies, all the different platforms, all the different ways that you can do things virtually. And then I also kind of started you off with a system that I want everybody to build. I used to have a coach that said, if something happens twice in your business, it needs a system. And I want everybody to write that down and really start thinking about that. If you think there's something that could happen more than once, it needs to have a system for it. So we're going to go over that at the end as well today. So in good news, I did get a new picture. I do still have those overalls and I wear them weekly. My name's Ryan McHugh. If I don't know any of you guys, or if I haven't seen any of you guys recently, I've been a single real estate agent. I was a big part of running the #1 team in the state for a while. We did over 400 deals a year, over 90 million in sales every single year. I launched a couple of Keller Williams offices and recruited for them and trained for them. And now I've been focusing on just bringing value to our title partners and all of the real estate agents that we work with that bring us title deals. So my goal is constantly, multiple times a week, and starting this week, every day, to be able to bring unique value to you guys. So we have a YouTube channel that will have videos going out. We're working on a private portal for you guys with all training and education. So that is us. We recently switched our name over to Apex Training because we've been growing this thing so quickly. We want to be able to help more agents and grow through different brands that we have and that we own. So if you do not already follow us on Facebook, please do, at Apex Training. And same with YouTube. Find us on there at Apex Training. So this is a picture of what life was like only a month ago. There's happy buyers, there's happy sellers, there's happy real estate agents, and all of a sudden this thing came out, and COVID-19 took us for a ride. So as this thing has swept the globe, we have had to really pivot as real estate agents and understand, what can we do better? We were deemed essential, which is good. Same with our title companies, all deemed essential. So that is good. That means we do get to keep working. We get to keep serving our communities. We get to keep serving our clients. What we have to do now is figure out how we do that while still maintaining the social distance, being safe, and doing it sometimes from the comfort of our own home and really getting outside the box. So that's kind of today's goals. I'm not quite sure if it's Judgment Day yet. We're right around the corner from that, but truthfully, I think everything's going to be fine. Deals are still moving. There's hundreds of closings happening every single day. People are still listing. People are still buying. People are still selling. So I think the days of Skynet taking us over are not quite there yet. And I want to make sure you keep pushing forward. Now, what may happen is we could go back to this. And if you haven't seen this before, this is the good old MLS book. And if you were in the business, I don't know, probably 25 years ago, this is how you got properties. Then we moved on to this, and now we're probably somewhere around here. There's a good chance we're between looking at stuff on the iPad and looking through stuff in virtual reality or virtual. And today I want to make sure you guys understand all the different ways that you can do that. By the way, when this started happening, we started talking about virtual showings and virtual open houses. And pretty quickly, people got scared and were worried about, oh my God, what do I do now? How are we going to do this? How can I operate from the comfort of my own home? So what we decided to do was put together all the ways that you can do that and share all these platforms with you. I'm going to guarantee that however many people we have on the call, at least 75% of them will not have even heard of one or two of these things that are in here that are totally free that you can start working with today. And a couple options that are paid and we work with our vendors on. So this is not to scare you, but I just want this to sink in a little bit. In 2008, when everything really got bad, we were at the peak of real estate agents. This is the total agent count in the United States as per NAR. So in 2008, there was 1,357,732 agents. Then everything kind of fell apart and we went down to under 1 million. So we lost over 26%, almost 400,000 agents. Last year, 2019, we ended the year with more agents than we had back then, 1,403,128. We have no idea what that number is going to look like at the end, but we're already rapidly seeing real estate agents fall out of the business, throw in the towel, get out, not continue fees, not continue dues, not continuing education, And a lot of that is based on what's happening now. So what are you going to do to stand apart? And what you really have to understand is, what are you personally going to do that's going to keep you in business and not only let you survive, but to let you thrive through a time that is questionable right now. However, we are still moving forward. So you need to adapt to technology, and honestly, you need to do it right now. If you haven't yet, and you've spent these last 2 or 3 weeks, kind of dilly-dallying and figuring out what's next, this is the time for you to adapt and take a stand for yourself, your business, your family, your income, your kids and their kids, and start realizing that we have to change now. One of my favorite quotes: change is inevitable, but participation is optional. So you have to realize our industry changed 2-3 weeks ago. Is it going to go back? Who knows? Hopefully it's going to change back pretty quickly. However, it'll be definitely different. And those that choose to participate are going to be those that move forward. So I know a lot of you on the call are now thinking, holy crap, where do I start? And I was thinking the same thing. So I dove into some research for you guys to help out. Here are a bunch of crazy options, and we're going to go through these and how we work on them. However, I know everybody's a little bit overwhelmed between Google Hangouts and 8 million Zoom calls a week, which I'm sure you've all been on, and then some less likely things that you're using. Poly is a Google thing that I'm sure not many people are using. Zillow's 3D Home, which I don't love Zillow, but it is a cool tool. Facebook Live, seen that going up a little bit, but not that much. Facebook Watch Parties, YouTube, things like Matterport, Instagram Live. All these provide solutions to our problem. It's just a choice of if we are going to adapt and actually use these. And I want to kind of make that as easy as possible for you today going through this stuff. So I've came up with 6 strategy options for you to actually move forward doing digital and virtual open houses and showings. And my goal is that you're just going to pick one of them and get good at it. I don't want you to spread all of your time, all of your energy around based on all these 6 and give each one whatever 15 or 18%. I want you to pick one of these that I share here and just get good at it and be the best at it. Be the local expert, be the best in your community, be the best you can possibly be. Pour into it. And on the other side of this, that is really going to help. So when you start looking at some of these things, what you're going to see pretty quickly is some of them you know and some of them you have no idea about. So number 1, our first option is doing everything completely live. And the top 4 platforms for that I put on the screen. One of them is Instagram Live. One of them is Facebook Live. One of them is Zoom. And one of them is Google Hangouts. What's good about all 4 of these is that they're free. So you do not have to pay for any of the 4 of these, which is awesome. They're all available to you with 2 or 3 clicks and a very simple sign up. Some pros with doing this and going live is that it can be interactive. So you have the ability where you can make everything completely interactive. You can have audience members ask questions. This is going to be your most authentic source of engagement, meaning you're going to get people that really are interested because they're spending their time to watch something live. So you're going to know who's interested and who's supporting you. And truthfully, this gives us the chance to be as close to a traditional open house or a showing as possible. So you want to make sure that you are using this as leverage to stay as close to normal business as possible. Some of the cons are that some people just do not like to be on camera. I know some people that I talk to all the time always are saying, oh my God, I can't even think about doing that live. My hair doesn't look good. I didn't put on a bra today. I didn't do any makeup. What if I mess up? What if it doesn't sound good? And it can seem overwhelmingly scary for some people. It's going to be imperfect. You know, you're never going to do something live that's totally perfect. It just doesn't work like that. And one of the other cons of doing something live really is internet ability. A couple of my friends were doing virtual open houses this weekend, and some of them came crashing down only because of bad service or bad internet or bad network or no Wi-Fi. And you have to keep that in mind. You know, when you're doing it in your own house or in your office, it's pretty easy. But when you're out at a house you've never been to or on a showing, you know, if network is spotty or something like that, it can really fall apart. So I'm going to give you a quick example of a friend of mine that did a really great virtual open house. And I want to share you a little video about it because I think he did an awesome job. And I got his permission for you to copy this strategy. So this is my friend Matt Swanson. He is a realtor in the Boca Raton area. And he was really the first person that I saw do a live virtual open house at a really great level. So he did this 2 weeks ago and really got out there and just said, look, I'm going to do it. It might not be perfect. It might be perfect. Who really knows? What he did was he spent an entire week promoting. He even put signs in the ground. He put signs on the house, a sign rider on the house, even a little whiteboard that said he was going to do a virtual open house via Zoom. He called his whole database, which he is a master at. He emailed his whole database. He texted everybody. He had it on Facebook. He ran an ad. He had it on his business page. He had it everywhere. And then he did a Zoom live on Facebook during this open house. And what was fantastic about it is he did it for over a half hour. So it wasn't just a quick 2 or 3 minute walkthrough. And you'll see when we watch this little video, all the people that engaged in it. I think he had over 80 people that were on this thing, tons of questions that were asked. And what's great about being live is that you have the ability to go back and answer questions or show people again the things that people are asking questions about. So let's check out real quick Matt Swanson doing this. So this is an example of a virtual open house that is being done live with interaction. Honestly, I think this is one of the best ones that I have seen. And this is Matt Swanson. He was kind of ahead of the curve. He did this over a week ago. So let's check this out.
Hey, it's Matt Swanson, and I'm here at 3487 Pine Haven Circle. We're having a virtual open house today because of obvious coronavirus restrictions. We're not allowed to have public interact with the public. We are able to show the property with the potential buyer going in the property by themselves and the agent showing it or entering at a different time. So we're adapting. We're still open for business, and I'm going to show you this great property. First, I want to show you. This is what Mill Pond is known for: tree-lined streets, mature oaks, and
so what I really love about this one is that he shows off the neighborhood. He walks around. He walks throughout the house. And if we fast forward it, you'll see when they're in the house.
There's a question. It is not a gated community. A lot of
actually goes through all of the comments and all of the questions and acknowledges and engages with every one of these people. And you see lots of different questions that allow them to interact with their audience and capture leads. So this is a really great one. He did a great job. He had 87 people on here, which was awesome. And a whole bunch of people engaging, as you can see, which is really great. So great job on this one. So to me, if you guys are looking to do virtual open houses, it's not about perfection. You could hear a little bit of the wind in there and, you know, a couple words that he messed up on. And really, it's not a big deal. But the big thing is that he went out there, he did it, he adapted, he went after it, and his sellers were happy, and that house was under contract. I think it was like 4 or 5 days after that, in a time where it's not the easiest time to be showing. So great job, Matt. That's one example of a way to do it live. So the next option or the next strategy is doing it pre-filmed, meaning you film it, which is not live. So a couple of good things are you can control the environment. It's editable. And for some people, this is going to be a lot less stress than doing it actually live. The cons to this one is that there's no real-time connection or engagement. So you can't go through and answer the questions live. Someone wants to see the master bathroom again, you can't do it. If someone wants to walk around and check out the area, you can't do that either. So definitely some negatives with this. And there's really no ability to capture live leads. However, the editing and controlling the environment for some people is going to work great. And there's a couple different styles of this. So I have a couple of videos of these to show as well for examples to give you guys ideas. There's a couple of different ways to do it. You can do it either through Facebook Watch Party. And what Watch Party is it will allow you to see something as appear to be live. So if you recorded a video, let's just say yesterday, and you wanted to watch it live with your friends or on your Facebook page, you can do a watch party live at something like, say, 2 o'clock and push all your people to that. So this is a team that we work with in Wellington, Heather and Adrian, and this is an example of one that we call the showing style. So what they did is they went out for their clients, for their listing, and they did something unique that I really love. They filmed it from the drive-in. So this condo is actually in downtown West Palm. They filmed it all the way from getting off 95 as they're driving in. So you could see what you're getting yourself into getting in here, driving around, how you get there, what the surroundings are like. And then they do a showing style where they walk through and they talk you through all of it. So I'm going to show you some clips of this one, and then we'll move on to the next style. So here's an example of a showing style video that was done by a team that I work with in Wellington, Heather and Adrian, Home Sweet Home. A great example of the drive in there and really being able to actually edit this so that you can go back and look at this and realize that they know what they're doing, they know what they're talking about, and they're really showing the local area. If you fast forward, you can see them walking through the property. And they're really taking you on a tour. So they're really going through an example of what this thing would look like. They edited all the key stats that were happening. They edited all the HOA information, the prices, everything that goes on the building right over the top of that. So this gives you one kind of style that you can look at and say, okay, this is kind of emulating a showing, but allows us to make something where no one's in the property. We can safely do this with social distancing, and we can even drive into the property so people really get a true idea of what it's like. Now, I know some of you are probably thinking, oh, that's way too much with the drive-in, but think in the mind of the buyer. So they definitely did some extra work on this one, but think in the mind of the buyer. You know, are they really going to buy something? As an investment, you might buy something without seeing everything. But if this is somewhere that you're actually going to be living, you want to see what it's like driving in and driving around and seeing the surrounding area. So great job, girls. I thought that one was awesome. Real simple. They shot that on an iPhone, edited on iMovie, and had it out an hour or two after they shot it. So great job, guys. Another style is what we call the voiceover style. So this is not having anybody in the video, but having a voiceover going over your showing and explaining absolutely everything that's in the property. So this is one I did on a flip that we had done, and the video came out really great. A friend of mine owns a company called Picture It Sold and does these voiceover videos where he does the video and then you give him a list of all the features and all the things that are in the house, and they actually coordinate a professional voiceover to go over everything in the house, all the features, all the style of stone, the granite, everything that's going on in the house they talk about. I'm not going to watch this whole thing, but I just want you to get the idea.
Welcome to Tierra del Rey, a cluster of luxury waterfront homes located in Delray Beach. With its unique country atmosphere and spectacular array of amenities, this 24-hour gated and guarded community is redefining luxury lakefront real estate. Located close by to Stonebridge Golf Course, Kings Point Golf Course, and Meisner Country Club, the area is ideal for golfers. Close to all major highways and just a few short miles away from downtown Delray's nightlife, shops, restaurants, and beaches, this community is perfectly placed. One of the most exceptional homes in Tierra del Rey is one.
Just to fast forward so you get in a little bit of the idea of the house as well.
The kitchen features 15-foot ceilings, OG edge granite countertops, and beautiful 42-inch cherry cabinets. Modern and high-end Wolf appliances include a gas range and sub-zero refrigerators. On the 121-inch screen in the media room.
So you guys get the idea with this one. It's a walkthrough where the cameraman is actually walking with a whole rig to make everything seem sturdy. They're doing an entire walkthrough, but it's a complete voiceover. So the whole video is getting voiced over so that you can send this out to clients. It's unbranded, so you can put it on the MLS, which is really great. And it gives people the option and the opportunity to see something in their eyes without having to pay attention to a host or somebody that's in front of it. And it has somebody professional doing the voiceover. So it sounds good. It sounds clean. It's professionally edited. So these kind of videos are not cheap. You know, this one was in the thousands of dollars. However, you know, it's a bigger house. So on something smaller, wouldn't be too much money. And you can even really do it over yourself with simple phone programs like iMovie or some of the basic editors in Windows as well. So just wanted to give you an idea of a voiceover style. Then we go to what we call the lifestyle video. So this has people in the house that are actors and essentially characters. So they're living in the house, doing things in the house, trying to get you to understand that this is, you're selling partially the lifestyle as well, and how a family or a group of people could be portrayed living in the house. So lifestyle video coming up. Maybe not. Let's try one more time. There we go. All right, so we get the idea. So that's what we would call a lifestyle video, and that's when you're hiring actors to be in the video. It could be your family, it could be your kids, it could be your friends, it could be whoever. But we're showing off the house in a non-storybook way. We're not talking about the house in every way. We're just showing it off. So those are a couple different styles if you're doing pre-recorded video to do this. So number 3 is an easy one that I came up with a little while back. Maybe 2 weeks ago, just messing around with some of these virtual backgrounds. And I think for a lot of you guys, honestly, I think that this is going to be the best option. And if you guys want, at the end of this, you can let me know. And if you want a class on this, or if you really want to work through it, maybe we can do something separate just with this. But to me, I think this is the most realistic opportunity for people now. So number 3 is a live presentation over static photos or video, meaning you're going to take photos or video that are old that you've already shot, or that are on the MLS, or that you can reach out to your photographer for. And sometimes there's a certain strategy with taking these pictures, certain kinds of lenses or certain angles that make this work, but you're gonna then talk live over it. So if you're stuck at home right now and you are completely quarantined and you can't go out, to shoot a video, or you don't have any money to hire someone to do a video, this is completely free and gives you the opportunity to do this yourself. And honestly, I think of all the strategies that we're gonna discuss, I personally think this is probably one of the best ones. It's definitely the cheapest and definitely the easiest. So the pros of this one are that you do it live over static video. So you do get some engagement. The cons are that you have to really depend on having good photos. And there's a lot of prep work on Zoom and on what you're going to say about this. It's definitely imperfect because you're doing it live. There's some fear about being live, but not as much as if you're walking through a house, because doing this, you can't really knock anything over. So I think there's still some opportunity in this. So I'm going to show you an example of one that I did just for this class on a flip that we're working on. And what we did was I teamed up with a photographer. His name's John Lennon, like the guy from the Beatles, and asked him to take certain pictures in a certain way so that I could get in front of them and be able to show off this. I didn't do the whole house because I wanted to keep it short. We only did 3 or 4 pictures, but you'll get the idea from this. So check this one out and let me know what you guys think. If you like this style in the chat and want to learn how to do it, make sure you put your name and your email and stuff in the chat, and we will work on this to help you guys figure this out, because I think this is
Estate quieto. Anda a dormir. Es hora de dormir.
Please mute yourself too if you're unmuting. I can hear some people coming on.
¿Cuándo vas a ir al colegio?
Muted.
Let me mute them before I start this. Hang on one second. All right, muted. Okay, let me start this. Like I said, if you like this idea and you want to learn how to do this, put your full name and your email in the chat and we will figure it out for you. Hello, everybody, and welcome to 7 Via de Casa Sur, Unit 102. This recently renovated townhouse is now available for only $200,000. We're in East Point and Beach. We're right around shopping. We're right around the beaches. We're right around the mall. We're right around restaurants, bars, nightlife. Anything you want is right around here. So as you look, you're going to see the custom floor. This is actually the wood look tile. You're going to see all the custom light fixtures, which came out really fantastic. And then I'm going to move you into the kitchen so you can see that completely redone, amazing kitchen. You're going to see all the different raw copper accents, a bunch of butcher block that was custom made just for the house, split color cabinets, stainless appliances, beautifully done kitchen. And then we're going to move into one of the bedrooms, one of my favorite ones because it has a barn door, which I really love. That's also just raw, unfinished wood. So everything in here has the wood, kind of a modern farmhouse theme going for it. And as we walk through these rooms, I want you to see the value here at only $200,000. So if you guys like that idea and you want to learn how to do that, make sure you throw a name and email in the chat. Again, I made that just using Zoom and with a friend that's a photographer. I think in the end, it cost me $150. And the whole house, doing the whole house, that was just a clip, but doing the whole house maybe took an hour, so it's really not that difficult to do. Moving on, number 4, Zillow 3D. So the pros and the cons are both, ironically, that it's Zillow. So one of the pros is that it's Zillow. It is the largest real estate search engine in the world right now. So huge exposure, higher ranking, all that stuff. And the con is, well, the same. It's Zillow, and they are trying to take real estate agents out of the game. So I see both sides of this one. It's a great tool. All I'm going to say is don't go crazy writing notes on this one because it is Zillow. And number 5, the one that we're going to do next, is actually, in my opinion, a better version of this, one that's not trying to put you out of business. And it is much better. So I just want to show you both of them to give you the exposure, but pay attention to 4, but really pay attention to number 5. So for number 4, I took an example of one of the Zillow 3D tours. One thing that blew my mind, I will tell you, is right now in the MLS, or actually when I did this over the weekend, I think there was 58 or 59,000 listings in the MLS. And of all those in Zillow, less than 500 of them, so less than 1% of them, had 3D tours in them, which to me is insane, especially in the time that we're living in. But I just want to show you this one because to give you an idea. Again, the step and the thing that we're going to talk about next is going to be better, but just pay attention so you can check it out. This is called Zillow 3D. Well, I keep doing that. Sorry. There we go. All right, so with the Zillow 3D tour, what you do is you get to load up all the different rooms and different areas of the house. You start with one, and then you can click through via arrow and actually go through one at a time. So we went from the street view to the front yard, to the entry foyer, into the living room, into the dining room, into the kitchen. And at any time we want, we could actually just circle and rotate and be able to see what is going on actually in that room. So it's a pretty cool feature. We could also click on the different rooms that we want to see. Maybe we want to go into the master bedroom and see what's going on in there. And then we can circle around and see what is in each room. So it's a pretty cool tool. If you want to use that, give it a shot. So that's Zillow 3D. My alternative, which I like much better, to me it's way easier to use and it's not supporting Zillow, is something called Google Poly. So this has been around for a couple of years. Google has been breaking into the 3D world. I actually learned about this 4 or 5 years ago. My brother's a computer science guy, and they were using this for a project in a hospital, and it was one of the coolest things I've ever seen. This is free. Like I said, it's been around for years. It's Google. So one of the huge pros is it's ridiculously simple to use, and everything with Google is very easy to share, especially across Google products like YouTube and Gmail and Calendar and all these things. So it is awesome. The cons of it is, the simplicity of it is not the greatest until you get used to it. Once you use it 1 or 2 times, it's not that hard. It is extremely time consuming. So to do a good one of these, it takes time. You have to do what they call scenes, almost like thinking like you're making a movie. And essentially each room is a scene and you have to spend a lot of time on the photography end of it. And one of the cons is you have to be in the property. So if you haven't done this before, which most people I'm sure haven't, you need to be able to get into the house. And if there's people living in it, you obviously can't do that right now. So this is an example of Google Poly on a friend of mine that did one in Delray Beach. So this is an example of Google Poly. This is one of the most underused tools out there in the world. A friend of mine from Boca did one of these. What you do is you actually place your house and you put it into things that they call scenes. So it's all different locations. So you can see scene 1 here is the front of the house, and you can move around and look at the view and the sky and all that fun stuff. Scene 2, we go into the entryway. Scene 3, we're by the pool, and you can even put these little infographics in there. So when you click on them, they can see, okay, there's a heated pool and a guest house, and then we can keep moving onward all through the house. Now we're getting deeper into the patio, into the living room, the dining room, the kitchen, and the family room. And we can always have a 360 version of what is going on. So it gives us a real ability to see what's happening in the house. Keep working through the house, the master, second bed, third bed, the guest room, and then finally even the garage. So you have the ability to check on all this stuff. What's really cool is it's really easy to like, it's really easy to share, and we even give you the link so you can embed it into something like your own website or a landing page. So it's really an awesome option that nobody is using, and it's Google, which is always good. So this tool is so underutilized. It is literally insane. That house was in Delray Beach, and it is literally, no exaggeration, it was the only house that has been done in Delray Beach. So this tool is so untapped. You know, however many of you are on here, I think there's 150 or so of you that have been on and off. you'll be the first 150 people using it in the towns you work in. I can almost guarantee it. Nobody uses it. Nobody knows what it is. No one knows how to find it. So get in there and attack that. At some point, Google will make that mainstream. I guarantee it. It is so fantastic. It does take some time for sure to use because you're essentially making a 3D picture or a 3D video of every one of those scenes. So it takes a little bit of time, but ridiculously cool tool, especially if you have a vacant property right now. Get out there and give it a shot. And then when you sell it, because of this awesome tool, make sure you send us the deal at Trident or Performance, because you wouldn't have learned about this anywhere else. So onward. Number 6 is something called Matterport. So this has been around for 5 or 6 years now too, but still very underused. The pros of this is there's 3 really awesome views or strategies inside Matterport, which I'll show you. I borrowed some of my friends' listings to do this on. The cons, number 1 is the cost. So if you just want to buy the camera and try to do it yourself, I believe the camera is $3,499. And then to use their software tools, you pay a monthly subscription fee as well. So it's not cheap. The demand for it right now is ridiculously high because everyone's trying to figure out how they do this. You have to be very tech savvy and photography savvy to make this thing look halfway decent. And the learning curve is ridiculous. So trying to do this yourself is probably not the best idea. There's plenty of photographers out there that use it. That I can connect you with. If you don't know one that uses it, let me know, and I will connect you to some of my friends that do this. But it's not cheap. However, you're going to see it is really awesome. If you've never seen one of these, especially on a multi-level house, it's incredible. So the first thing they have that is pretty cool is called floor plan view, and you get an overhead, like a bird's eye view of the floor plan. It looks like this. So this is what we call a floor plan view on Matterport, and you can scroll in and you can scroll out and you can see everything that is going on with that actual floor plan from an overhead view. And if it has multiple floors, you can even separate it out by different floors. So this is floor plan view. The next one is my personal favorite. It's called Dollhouse view. I think this is awesome. Watch this. This is what we call the dollhouse view in Matterport. Same thing, you have the ability to zoom in, zoom out. And what's really cool is you can see all floors at once, just like as if you were looking at a dollhouse. You can rotate it, you can see what's going on with the house, the top, and all different levels. So very, very cool option here on Matterport. I love that dollhouse view. And then there's actually a 3D tour view, which is similar to the Google Poly. It just costs way more. So this is what we would call the 3D tour view in Matterport. You can start, and on any one of these dots, you can go, and you have the ability to look around 360 degrees and see what's going on. So right here, you'll see that I'm at the front door. And if I want to move, let's say, into the kitchen, I pick the dot that looks like it's by the kitchen. And then I can scroll around and look through that as well. Every one of the dots that you see on the floor represents a different viewpoint that you can view the house from. So pretty cool option to use. So if you've never heard of Matterport, it is really cool. It's just insanely expensive. So those are my 6 different strategies. Don't leave yet. Don't give up because we still have some systems and stuff to talk about. The summary of the strategies. Number 1 is the live interactive strategy. Number 2 is using a pre-recorded video. Number 3 is doing a live presentation over static photos. That was the one I was talking about on Zoom. Number 4 is using Zillow 3D. Number 5, Google Poly. And number 6 is Matterport. There's even some crazy robots coming out now. One of my friends in Boynton is doing one of those. The robot, though, is like $4,000, and you have to have all these programs and all this stuff. But these are the 6 that I would suggest now. These are all realistic or somewhat realistic for everyone's budget and time considerations. And right now, some of these we can do completely from home, which is cool. So those are my 6 on that. So now that you've picked the strategy, now what? It's really time to build a system. And for me, I want to just give you an overview of a basic system here. It would have 4 steps to it. It would have a prep step, a promote step, a day of the event or the open house or the showing step, and then an after the fact effect system. So 4 steps here that I want you to build out. And if you're writing down or taking notes, I would suggest starting to at least kind of frame this out. Number 1 is going to be prep. So you're going to choose a strategy. One of the 6 that we picked, you're going to choose your property. You're going to practice. You're going to make sure that all of your social media accounts are branded the same way and ready to attack this. You're going to learn all the important information about the house and create some kind of a cheat sheet so that when you're walking through it or talking about the house, you know the key things you want to touch on. Some important things are the roof, the AC, the appliances, when things were renovated, if there's any HOA, all those things should be on your cheat sheet. Think questions that a buyer would normally ask if they were touring the house. In your prep phase, you want to test your tech. So which way are you going to hold your phone, and what device are you going to use, and how is it going to record, and how's it going to work? And you also want to figure out how you're going to be able to capture leads, because if you can't actually capture leads, this is pretty much worthless, right? Number 2, promote. So we want to figure out, how are we going to promote this? Are we going to create paper or digital flyers or marketing material? We're going to do an email blast. Are we going to call our entire database? We're going to text our entire database. Are we going to use some social media promotion? Can we create an event on Facebook or on any of the meetup sites? Are we going to do it as a Craigslist post? Are we going to call all of our agent friends and tell them, hey, if you have a client thinking about buying a $200,000 house in Boynton, you should send them to my virtual open house and jump on with them so I know you're representing them. Number 3, third part of your system, what are you going to do the day of? You're going to make sure you arrive early. If you're doing this live at a house, you want to make sure that you prep the house or the presentation just like you would if you were showing the real buyer. So get there early, open the doors, open the windows, turn on the lights, make sure everything is as clean as it could possibly be. You want to do a walkthrough or a test run. You want to start the event or the tour from the outside or a street level or even in the car on the way, like that one in West Palm, so that people understand what they're buying, not just the inside of the house, what's going on down the street. What does the house next door look like? Across the street, in the backyard? What can you see when you turn onto the road? How does it look? Are things maintained? Get help if possible. Means if you can't do this alone, sometimes it's good to have a moderator in your chat or on your online social media, or maybe somebody with you there to hold the camera. Think safe social distancing, but I'm telling you, some of these things, if it's your first time alone, is not the easiest. Make sure you actually have some fun with it. People want to see that you're a real human. This doesn't have to be perfect. Make sure you engage the audience, whether it's live or pre-recorded. Ask them call to action questions like, could you see yourself being quarantined here? And ask them questions about what they want to see if you're doing it live. So make sure you ask them a bunch of questions. Number 4, after, do you have a follow-up plan in place? Are you going to send the recording to attendees strategically? So not just send it out the second it ends. Make them ask for it or do something or capture something for your database to get it. Are you going to post the recording somewhere? And if so, where? Are you going to have a watch party? You're going to put it on Facebook and invite people to have a watch party with you. Follow-up, follow-up, follow-up. If you don't do this, the follow-up, the event doesn't really matter. A lot of times when we do these events, the event itself is pretty much irrelevant. It's the marketing before it and the follow-up after it that make it all worth something. And then are you going to be able to use this as a marketing piece for upcoming buyers and sellers? So all those videos that I showed you, outside of 2 of them, were my own properties or my own flips or my own things that we have done in the past. So years ago, when I was actually trying to sell real estate, you would use this, you'd make one, and you might have to spend a lot of money. So think about that voiceover video. That was years ago now, but think about you as an agent. If you do one really great high-end, high-dollar video, and then you use that every time you go on a luxury listing presentation, you have something that you can show potential buyers and sellers, your capabilities and what you can do. And that's how you can get 6 and 7 and 8% on a property when you're providing a service above and beyond that nobody else is doing. So some tips for success. Number 1, choose one strategy and get good at it. We went over 6 of those strategies. If you try to do all 6, you're not going to be good at any of them. So pick one and do really great. Next, build a system if you plan to do it more than once. So like I said earlier, anything that happens in your business more than one time, it needs to have a system. It should be systematized so that you can do it and you can improve on it. You do it one time and X number of people show up and you just winged it and you have no idea what you did. The next time, you're not going to be able to improve. However, if you have a system of what you did the first time and X number of people showed up, you can improve it and add steps so that more people show up the next time. Next, if you're using your phone, do it horizontally so that we can see kind of in the, like the landscape sort of view, not the portrait mode, so that we can see more of the house and what's going on. 4th one, have a ringer in the crowd for anything you do live or with open houses. And what I mean for that is if you're doing this live open house, have a friend, a family member, somebody get on and kind of stir the pot, ask some questions, talk about the house, ask you to go back and see stuff, encourage audience interaction, because when a good chance that when somebody sees someone else doing it, they'll engage as well. Next is practice. So do a practice run of this before you do it. Don't make the first time you do it live with no practice, because things are going to come up that you didn't even anticipate. We always say you don't know what you don't know. And this is a perfect example of it. So many things are going to come up that you just don't know or you didn't think of. And last but not least on this one is take action now. No matter what you're going to do, it doesn't matter. You can't be frozen. We need to be moving forward right now to help us start getting some more business and bringing in some deals. So summary overall, 6 strategies, live, recorded, live over photos, Zillow 3D, Google Poly, and Matterport. The 4 highlights of your system is a prep system, a promotion system, a day of system, and an after system. If you want any of these slides or if you want to learn more or do some classes on this stuff, make sure you put your full name and your email in the chat. Please follow us on Facebook and on YouTube at Apex Training. And please, if you want to keep these things going, send us deals at Trident Title and at Performance Title. Get in touch with your reps, Dave Ward, Melissa Kidwell, Tracy Cinder, Gabrielle Bryce, and myself, Ryan McHugh. And we will keep these things coming for you. So make sure you book on your calendar. Thursday, Better Call Paul at 4 o'clock. And next Monday, we are going to do something called Get Ahead While Staying Put. Things that realtors need to do to get ahead in their business. So when we do come out on this on the other side, you're going to be on the top of that. And I have a list of great tips and great strategies and some great tech things that are going to help you make sure that you have business on the other side of this whole thing. So hope you guys enjoyed today. If you have any questions, I'm going to stop the recording in a second and I will stay on for your questions. And make sure you put your information in the chat if you want to receive this or receive any more. Thank you all for being here. Stay tuned, stay safe, stay healthy, and have a fantastic day.